Investors, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. So you guys may not know this, but I actually have a birthday coming up pretty soon. Thank you. Thank you for all the wishes. I'm turning kind of old now, but what I really want for my birthday and what you guys can get me for my birthday is the gift of actually doing just a little bit of research into the stocks that you guys buy. And so to help you with this birthday gift that you guys can get me, I am going to provide you today with a few free resources that you can use just to do some basic stock analysis so you kind of have an idea of what exactly you are buying when looking to buy a stock, whether that be Apple, Microsoft, or even CCIV, something like that. So I hope to really inform you guys today, and hopefully you can get a little bit out of this. Biggest thing is that really by using these resources that I'm going to share with you, this really should take only about 15 minutes to do the entirety of this research. Most of the stuff I actually already got laid out for you, ready to go. So because of that, maybe drop a like on the video, help me out, or drop a subscribe if you're new, or hey, if it doesn't help you, just drop a dislike. I respect it. Yeah guys, so let's just jump into the resources. So the first website that we're going to be looking at is Seeking Alpha, and we will be using Salesforce for the entirety of this video. And the main thing that I want us to look at are these last couple of tabs, the value, growth, profitability, peers, and charting tabs. So what's great about the value, the growth, and the profitability tab is that all of them show a ton of different types of metrics, but they show the stock you're looking at, so for this example, Salesforce, and compares that to the sector median, which is a great thing to look at as you can kind of get a feel for where your stock is relative to, of course, the sector median. So we can look at really anything. So let's look at the price to sales, right? As you can see, Salesforce is basically double the price to sales of, the sector median. And so these are just things to know, is that on a price to sales basis, Salesforce is looking a lot more expensive, right? But maybe there's a reason for that. You can go over this growth tab and say, well, their revenue growth year over year and forward is both much higher than the sector median. Maybe that's why. You can also look at profitability as well and say, wow, look at this gross profit margin. That's a 74% compared to the sector of about 50%. These are just things to know. These are great tabs to look at just to get a comparison to see where is this stock you're looking at relative to the rest of the sector. And you can even dig down even further. Say you don't want to look at the sector, but you want to see some actual comparisons to some peers. Well, you got a tab for that right here where they take Salesforce and they show you Adobe, SAP, Zoom, Intuit, other ones, but just other competitors that they auto-generate for you. And you just scroll down, you can see that you got valuation metrics, you got growth metrics, you have profitability, momentum, things like that. I mean, look, you can even see the year-to-date price performance for all these stocks. These are all great things that you want to do so you can compare your stock to competitors in the space. This is a great website and a great tool to be using. The last tab that I really like to use too is this charting. It's pretty new actually to Seeking Alpha, but they show a great stuff. I mean, look, you got this total return. We compare CRM to the S&P 500, and we can check it out for 5 years to see how it's been going. I mean, you got price return. You can check out that. There are so many different metrics here that you can look at. Asset turnover ratios, net income margin, gross profit margin. I mean, look, you can see the gross profit margin ratio over time. These are great things to be looking at. You want to look at, price to cash flow. There you go. It got a perfect graph for you right there. So these are great things to be using. This is just very basic, just data that you can use just to get a gauge of where your stock is in comparison to maybe the sector, maybe to some peers. So that's the great resource and the first resource that we looked at, Seeking Alpha. Another thing that you might want to use just to help you out to get a feel from the stock is some sort of charting software. And I'm not talking about just the simple Robinhood interface, but I'm talking about something maybe by TD Ameritrade, by Fidelity, by Schwab, some of that real charting software. And so what we're looking at right here is I'm just using Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade, and I just use very simplistic, just super simple technical indicators. I'm not the biggest believer in technical analysis. Personally, I don't think it's really all that people try to hype it up to be. However, it is good at times, and I think there are some indicators that are better than others. The biggest one being, if you look at my screen, these 5 yellow lines, these are standard deviations of the price movement. And I like to use standard deviation a lot because I am a big believer in mean reversion and that things are going to revert back to the mean eventually. And so when I look at a stock, I like to see what has the historical price movement been in relation to its standard deviation. So if you look at Salesforce on, this is a 5-year chart right here, 5-year. As you can see right now, it's getting to that 0 standard deviation, which looks pretty nice. Now you can do this for all sorts of time frames. So you can put on the 10-year, it's a little bit higher on, you're getting around to that +1 standard deviation. But I like to just use indicators like this, standard deviation, even moving averages from time to time. As you can see, I mean, there is some truth to moving averages. I'm not going to completely say they're not useful. I mean, if you look right here, the 200-day moving average that I have set up, or 180 days, it was kind of validated. Same thing maybe with the 50 coming up. Again, I don't trust everything on these indicators. However, I think they are just nice to look at from time to time. The biggest one to me, I like to use a standard deviation. I like to look at it at a close time frame, so maybe 180 days to anything from 5 years to 10 years, just to kind of see how, in the scheme of things, how the price has been moving around some. So that's just another thing that you guys should check out, is looking at these, just a little bit of analysis, just a little bit of technical analysis, just to get a feel at where the stock is compared to where it has been, especially with the price. And just to clown around with you guys, here's CCIV. So I don't know, you tell me if that's ridiculous or not on a standard deviation wise. All right, let's go to the next source. So the last resource for free that you can use is actually going to be me. That's right, I actually made a while ago a financial statement analysis playlist quite some time ago, and well, I think that the knowledge holds true, where it uses a bunch more resources for free, and I break it down pretty well. So the first one we have is where I talk about where to get 5 years of financial statement data for free for you guys to look at. That's going to be over here on this website SimFin. I also refer to MarketBeat on it. Check that out. It's a great resource. I have a few more videos here where I'm actually using coding to actually kind of show you guys, and do some sort of fundamental analysis on your stock using the financial statements. And the great thing about these couple of videos is that if you click on any of them, I will use the Z-score test, for example, which by far is the one that I use the most in my personal life. I actually have the code for you guys. So all you gotta do is just follow the videos, see how exactly I made the code, or what exactly I'm pulling, all that stuff. But I have it all set up for you guys. So you just need to plug this code in, set up the data, just set the data up, plug it in and run. It's ready to go. It literally takes 5 minutes. It literally takes 5 minutes to run, and then you got yourself some analysis. And I love the Z-score test. It is personally one of my favorites. And so the nice thing for the Z-score test is that it produces for you basically a just data output that looks like these two columns, where you have basically the PE and you will have the Z-score. And that's great because a Z-score of 0 below might indicate that it's below the average. And these are just things that you again, should know. It's nice to know where historically your valuation ratio is compared to the valuation ratio from 5, 10 years, however far you want to get that data. Now go to that Z-score video and watch it. It will give you, again, like I said, just a pretty simple output of like this and this. But since my birthday is coming up and I'm feeling just kind of celebratory right now, a little happy, I will be posting this Excel spreadsheet in Google Docs for you guys to go in and have access to. And then from there, you can just locally save it. I probably won't put in these graphs. When I try to do it on Google Docs, for some reason, it always messes up. So I'll definitely have kind of an output like this, but then you guys can just locally save the Google Docs and then just make a graph of the data. As you can see, the PE graph pulls from this one, the z-score pulls from that one. So it's not nothing crazy here, but just it's nice to have these graphs. And I like this PE graph. As you can see, there's this huge variable right there, or this huge outlier. You know, you can always tweak the data and say, I don't want a huge outlier. And there you go. Now you can kind of get a kind of idea of what's happening with the PE. Salesforce PE isn't the best one to demonstrate. However, I'm doing it. But anyways, guys, something like this will be posted on Google Docs, so it's free for you to do. And literally all you have to do is just, again, locally download this, and then just plug in the date, historical date, and PE information. And you're probably wondering, well, where do I get that date and PE information? Well, it is inside of this z-score video that I have for you. Or, just to show you right now, you can go over to this website called Macro Trends. You can search whatever stock you want. So again, we're looking at Salesforce, and you can go over to price ratios, PE, price to sales, price to book, price to free cash flow. You got a lot, and you just literally copy and paste this data into Excel. You'll want the date and you'll want the PE ratio. You can just copy that in and then just plug that into the Excel and it will run it for you. Or better yet, you can even just look at it. They make the graphs for you, so you can even look at it just off of here if you want. And this website is called Macro Trends, so please check out those other resources that I've posted. Again, I've got all this stuff set up for you. These websites have all this stuff set up for you. It literally takes 20 minutes. So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do some research, guys. If you're out there just blindly buying stocks just because, I don't know, you think that this stock is the next one pushing up, I got no problem with that. I have absolutely no problem. It's your money. Spend your money however you want. Just do a little bit of research and be informed on what the heck you're buying, right? If you're going in to, even if it's Apple, if it's Microsoft, Adobe, these big blue chip companies, just take a look and see how they're doing relative to the sector, relative to the S&P 500 competitors. If you're going into these speculative stocks like maybe GameStop right now, CCIV, you know, look into it. As you can see, when I clowned around, looked at CCIV, there's not much information. You know, why would you want something that doesn't have much information? You guys get the point. The thing is that 2021, I do not want you guys making blind investments just because. I want you to do some actual research before you go out buying your stocks. And don't come at me saying that Palm Tree Investment only comes out here to complain about stock market YouTube. I'm trying to make this website and I'm trying to make this community a better, more informed place. So with that, guys, thank you for watching the video, and thank you so much for the birthday gift of doing some fundamental analysis before you buy the stock. That means a ton to me. I appreciate the gift, guys. All right, have a great rest of your day. Take 20 minutes and just do some of this stuff for real. I love you guys. Peace.